Okay, I guess we are ready to go. Welcome back and welcome at our final pitch here at our Blockchain Hackathon in Stuttgart. Give yourselves a big round of applause for all the hard work that you have done throughout the last 30-something hours. Yeah, excited? We are. The jury is. We are very excited to find out what you were able to achieve over the last 2 days. It has been very exciting. We had some very active night teams working hard to achieve and to make their visions a reality. So we're very much excited to find out. We have 17 teams in total. We were generous enough to extend your presentation time from 3 minutes to 5 minutes, plus an additional time of 3 minutes as questioning times, Q&A round sessions with the jury. You don't have to use all the 5 minutes you have. If you think that you can be done in 3 or 4, that's fine with us. But you have a maximum of 5 minutes, and we are going to be extremely strict because we want to give everyone equal chances. I would also like to take the opportunity to thank our sponsors. Let's see if we can get all our sponsors back here on so that you can envision them all. One of them is LBBV, the other one is Daimler and Bosch and MHP and Targets. Thank you very much for all your support. And I guess you have all met throughout the last 2 days our jury, but I think it's the perfect time now to introduce them all one by one again to all of you, and I'll start with Jonas von Malotki from Daimler. Joachim Erdle, the Managing Director and Head of Corporate at the LBBV Bank. Nick Sharman from Bosch. Dr. Katharina Schubert from MHP. Andrei Marchuk from KI Decentralized. And Carsten Treiber from Targets. So you know the rules. 5 minutes to pitch, 3 additional minutes for your round of questions. You can show your prototype here on stage. I would kindly ask the team that will be next to the one here on stage to get ready so that as soon as the one team is done, we can continue with the new slot so that we don't lose too much time. Then, after all the presentations, there will be half an hour of networking break, also to allow our jury to finalize on their decision. And after the break, we will meet then in the Aula for our final award ceremony. Before you go downstairs, we will also hand out to you guys a questionnaire, and we would be very happy if you take the time to fill it out for us, because that will help us understanding if you enjoyed your weekend with us, and possibly also to learn if there is anything that we can do better the next time. So your information will be very valuable to us. And afterwards there will be food served and we can celebrate, so there's a lot to look forward to. And I suggest we start with our first pitch. This is the list, and our first team coming is Bike Street Boys. Welcome. So we'll help you now to get started. Is the mic? Yeah, the mic is working. You can present on stage wherever you want. The stage is all yours. You can do what you want. There's a microphone over there. There's another one here. If you need mine, I can also give you mine. I'm fine. You need my microphone? Perfect. Okay. Test.
So, inaccurate, incomplete, and old data are a multi-billion-dollar problem. Trusted sources say that less than 50% of companies trust in their data quality. And, for example, when it comes to supplier master data, bad data quality costs up to $1,000 per supplier and year. So, when we look back in the past, there have been hundreds of billions of direct data exchanges between single companies on updating their master data. Meanwhile, it's a little bit better. There are a lot of data service providers as intermediaries that pre-bundled those connections, but still there are billions of direct connections to exchange those data and keep it up to date. Roland will now show you the next step of this evolution progress.
Thank you, Tony. D3 is now the final evolution step of the simplification process. We have established a decentralized single source of truth using the DAG of the Whiteball network. Our solution incentivizes everybody to participate while eliminating the expensive data service providers as a middleman, as well as the remaining time-consuming personal data exchanges. Our benefits. Companies can save billions because they don't have to check and correct the data manually anymore. We are talking about informations like contacts or certificates and so on. This can be done automatically in the future. Additionally, for companies, they can earn a lot of more profit because they can earn money with selling their data. And a so-called bounty system forces companies to keep their data correct and up to date. Incorrect data will be fined. And to show how easy and simple it is to get the latest information about business partners, Tony will now demonstrate parts of our solution live.
Okay, what you will see now is one way to interact with our system. So for the demo, we chose a chatbot to demonstrate it. So the first scenario I will show is the scenario that I, as a company, am holding a supplier master data set, and I want to check if it's still up to date. I do so by inputting a DUNS number, which is a unique identifier for companies, and the hash of the data set I currently hold. Then when I click on send, this hash is being compared with the data set the supplier posted most recently on the deck, and in this case, the hash is the same, so it tells me, okay, you don't have to worry, the master data is up to date. But now imagine that wouldn't be the case, it would not be up to date. I could easily request new data by just entering the DUNS number. Then the smart contract sends me a payment request. I click on that, pay it, and okay. And then the new updated data is being posted. Now imagine, of course, this can be easily integrated in all kind of SAP and ERP systems, and automatically one time per day, for example, you can check each data point if it's still up to date, and then request new data if not. So if you go back to the presentation, you have seen now some parts of our smart contracts we've implemented. First of all, buyers can attest themselves. So there's a proof of identity integrated in Byteball where you can prove that you are the company that you are saying. And then as a data seller, as a supplier, I can decide how I want to publish my data. Either public, so I can post it publicly, everyone can read it, or private. And if I post it private, I can decide how I want to unlock the updated data. So I can say, okay, I only unlock it via payment, or I only unlock it to proven identities plus payment or without payment. So I can control to whom to review the data. There are different input options, some of them you've already seen. Next slide. Now I mentioned it can be easily transferred to all kind of data quality programs. And remember what I told you in the beginning, master data or bad data quality is a multi-billion-dollar problem. What you've just seen is live on the Byteball network. You can download the Byteball app, pair your device with the pairing code and try around with the bot. Thank you.
Any questions from our jury? Who wants to ask something? Why Byteball?
So there are different reasons why we chose Byteball. One reason is that all functionalities like easy smart contracts, chatbot frameworks are integrated. They are extremely low fees, so transaction fee currently is somewhere in the range of 0.0000 something US dollar per transaction, so it's very cheap. Yeah, that's the reason.
More questions?
So the implementation now is just this chatbot, and you interact with the Byteball already existing chain.
Correct. So the data sellers post their data via a web interface or something else. We didn't demonstrate that to the deck, as I showed. Yeah. There are different options they can choose if they want to post it publicly or privately, and with the sub-options that they only reveal the data against the payment or against proven identities. So they get a request then, that for example Bosch is requesting the data, and then they can say approve and reveal the data. Also no payment.
Okay, so the data is encrypted, it's not publicly posted.
Correct.
But what's the private key or some public key or?
So we got a service, you upload the file, and it upload to a file IPFS system, and it's encrypted, and to access the key, the file, you get a private key, and a public key to open that file.
So IPFS is also a decentralized DAC implementation. So it's more or less a fully decentralized system. So no central authority. No.
Any more questions?
And maybe one point to add.
Please.
Yeah. So the problem of bad data quality are especially high in the automotive field and also in finance and industry. So as you might all know.
Short question and short answer. Last one, or are we fine?
One more.
We seem to be fine. Well, thank you very much, guys. Good luck. Thank you. So we are now asking team number 2 to work with us, and it's team Chain Reaction. You guys are already here. So I'll pass you the microphone. That's one. Your time will be shown here on the iPad. So you have a reference, and good luck.
Hello, my name is Aina Galofre, and my team is composed also of Juan Pedro Gutierrez, Daniel Ramirez, Alexander Musik, and the name of our team is Chain Reaction. So our project deals with the industry, and what it does is that it communicates between the enterprise or the manufacturing company and the trusted service providers. How it is done right now, it is that when a machine fails, then the supervisor contacts manually with the trusted provider, and this is done in verbal or in written form, and the services are then concretized in a physical manner. So the provider does the repairs or the maintenance, and what happens then is that the money is trusted to be given. So there is like an agreement between one another. This might not always be trustful. There might be some risks in between. So what we do is that given that now most machines have the possibility of sharing their data, their internal data, in a company, what we would have is a management unit. And this management unit gathers all the data from the machines, and it predicts if they are going to fail or if they have failed already. If this is the case, then the management unit it communicates, deploys a smart contract with one of the suitable providers that is needed. So for the part of the maintenance that has to be done. And what happens is that then the provider can either accept the contract or not. For example, if they reject the contract, the money that was placed in the smart contract is returned to the wallet of the company. And if he accepts the smart contract, then the maintenance can be done. And the management unit will then inform the contract that the service was performed, and the money in the smart contract will be unfreezed so that the provider can withdraw the money. Okay. And what our software does is we have implemented the wallet for the company and the provider and the smart contracts given the communication and the notifications from the management unit. And now my colleague Daniel will explain to you why it's better to use smart contracts and blockchain.
Thank you so much, Hannah. Hi everyone. So basically, we gotta say that we're based on on Ethereum blockchain because it allows us to have tokens, which I'll explain in a second. It allows us to make the smart contracts, and because of the basic principle of how a blockchain works and how it's an immutable and long-lasting lock. So basically, to be real quick with this, the smart contracts allows us in the scenario of this repair to get rid of all this paperwork and unnecessary communication, and just once they've all agreed upon this, how this is going to work and when they're coming, then every instance of a repair will be able to just happen without having any more recalculating or anything. Tokenization is very important for us because given that this is, it has to be a constant value, because if we agree that you're going to repair my machine for 20 euros, then it always has to be 20 euros. And that's why we use our own token, which we then fix to a real world currency. And no matter how much time passes between the maintenance, between the deployment and the finalization of the contract, the real world value will stay the same. And lastly, the contracts themselves are the invoicing and the receipt and the payment, which means that no matter what happens, we will always be able to access our blockchain, and we will keep those wallets after every transaction, either if it's accepted or rejected. We will always know in our wallets what has happened in the time before, so no needs for paperwork and all these records. Okay, so real quick to the technology we used. In our case, we used Ethereum. We programmed the smart contracts using Solidity, and we tested with Ganache Suite, which is a private test network which creates a mock or dummy account with funds and automatic mining. And I'll give you back to Aina, who will explain the rest of it.
So we were planning to do a demo, but I think
Thank
the
you
time
very
is
much.
up.
The time is up. So, do we have any questions by our jury? Yes, I'm coming.
How does it work that if a machine, for example, fails, that the machine can discover the correct maintainer for it?
Let's say, each machine, the management unit would have a database with the machines, with the providers, the maintenance, storage capacity, necessities, whatever. And based on that, the management unit has to create a contract with the public addresses of in Ethereum to create the appropriate smart contract and contact the correct providers of the services.
So the management unit would be the centralized part here?
Yes.
More questions from our jury? Yep.
How far did you go with the implementation of the smart contract? Did you try a transaction?
The implementation is done. We just didn't have time for the demo.
Yeah. So each of those steps you just showed on the slides is also implemented in the smart contract.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you envision some way to decentralize this centralized management part you have in your system?
The controller actually is only logically a central part, but it can be distributed along different components for sure. So currently, personally, I we didn't think a lot about if we can put this part into the blockchain, because then we would have to push all the data and information of the sensors into the blockchain, and actually nobody or only a few people want all this data from sensors 10 years ago in the blockchain, so I don't know if this makes sense.
Thank you. More questions? We have a very short one and a short answer. That's the time we have for it. Otherwise, thank you very much. Congratulations. Perfect. And our next team shared truck. So your time will be shown here on the iPad. You have a microphone. So good luck.
Hello, welcome. We're happy to be here and to introduce to you the idea of the truck chain. Well, every idea needs a problem, so where is our problem? On the one hand, it basically has two sides. On the one hand, you have an increased demand for logistics services over the last years, and the barrier to entry on a financial level is pretty high, because a new truck can easily run you about 100,000 euros or more. On the other hand, at least in Germany, drivers are only allowed to drive 9 hours a day and regularly make breaks of 10 to 11 hours. So in this time frame, the trucks basically are just standing around their bound capital, and they do nothing for nobody. What we try to do to alleviate this problem is to create a platform where you can share those trucks, which will work something like this. An owner, that could be a person or an organization of a truck, says, okay, I or my driver will be driving from A to B. He'll make a stop at C from time D to E, and at that time you can rent the truck. Of course, this is kind of limited time frame, so the effective range where you can drive is also limited to about 250 to 300 kilometers, which sounds little, but if you look at the map, let's say the driver makes a break in Stuttgart, and we lay a circle of it with a radius of about 275 kilometers, it would at least get you to Frankfurt am Main or Munich, which for medium distances it's definitely possible to get there and back in time. So what is the business case? I'll keep the business part of it a bit short, because we weren't really looking at it from a startup perspective, but more as a solution for problems already existing for existing organizations. And always positive point is you have little initial expense because the assets you use are already there, the trucks are already standing there. On the base level, it's just a service providing kind of facilitation of temporal shared use of assets. An interesting point and an interesting question that came up in our discussions was how to handle insurance, because if the renter kind of dings up the truck while he's driving it, that might drive the insurance premium for the owner higher. An easy and obvious solution for that would be the kind of double insurance, one for the truck per se and one for each individual trip, for example, but that might be not necessarily cost prohibitive but pretty expensive. Another thing that could be done is that the driver insures himself against hikes up in his insurance premium, so it's a kind of CDS for trucks, if you will. The more important question, I guess, is where did we use the blockchain and why? Is it really adding anything to the idea, or is it just vestigial? We used the blockchain to implement our payment platform. We used smart contracts based on Ethereum technology. Why did we do that? Because it kind of virtually eliminates counterparty risks. It would work like this: when an owner and a renter made a contract, the renter pays twice the pre-agreed sum for the rent into a smart contract. If everything goes well, the truck is spent where it should be by the time that was agreed. Half of it goes to the owner, half of it goes back to the renter. But if not, if the renter is, say, an hour late, all of it will go to the owner as kind of compensation for possible future losses that will happen because the truck was not there in time, because time is usually quite crucial in logistics. And my colleague Jan will explain that in a bit more detail.
Okay, so we have like two parts in our solution. One is of course the back end and the calculation on the blockchain, and the other one is a web application which could look like something like this, and there are a lot of platforms for sharing something, and they most similar look all the same. But especially for this case, it's more important and more interesting to show what does the smart contract. So here's our smart contract on the blockchain deployed with a lot of information about the truck. So each truck has its own smart contract with some information about it, which type of class is it, the price in units of distance and time. Then it has some states, of course. Is it rented? Is it free? Is it available? And this is like the status when the truck is booked. And now we can see that this is the time when it started driving. We can see the accounts. And this is now when it's finished, it's set to true. And then after it's finished, the deposit goes back to the renter and the owner gets the money.
Thank you very much. Time is up. Any questions? Yes? Perfect.
The usual one by now. How do the owners of the truck and the renters, how do they discover each other?
Okay, via GPS. So the owner can say, because of many companies have truck management systems and they are planning the tours. So they know exactly, okay, my truck will be at expected this destination at that time. Or even if I didn't plan it before, when I make the break, I point my GPS coordinates into the system.
Which system?
In our web application.
And who's running this web application?
So this could be run by the companies that run even the platform. So we did not use a public blockchain, but we set up our own blockchain, so which could be run by a consortium of different companies, like manufacturers, insurers, which contribute or get values out of the data we're getting.
Okay, so why are you using a blockchain for that? If you have a centralized system for fitting the both parts?
Yeah, that we were thinking about, but it's more, I think, the steps to using this platform, or the fears may not be so big when there are a lot of companies that are contributing together in that one single source. So even they could be, the platform could be open for more companies that will contribute and like set up their own node, and so contribute to the platform. Instead of that there's only one company that owns all the data and maybe misuses it.
Questions?
Yeah, usually trucks are used to transport something from A to B, and when the drivers rest in between, what about the stuff they're carrying?
Okay, when we talked about renting the truck, it's usually just the tractor. The trailer stays there because you use cargo in there, but you can, if you say, okay, I've got a trailer myself, I need to get it from there to there, and somewhere in your area, a truck is parked, you can rent the tractor.
And it is easily to, without any crane or something, you can put that on the truck. Okay.
Short.
How do you deal with maintenance?
Maintenance costs as well as the insurance costs, that will kind of be factored in into the renting rate.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Time is up. The next team that we're ready now is Team SafeBit. So it's our next team here presenting the pitch. Again, also for you, the information, the time will be shown on the iPad here in the front row. You have 5 minutes. So you ready? Okay, good luck.
So, welcome everyone. Our name is SafeBit, and our mission is to promote transparency in public procurement. What's the problem? Cost of corruption for the taxpayer for us, 1.7 billion euros in the US alone. Isn't that a huge number? 15% of all tenders happening involve bribery. How does it look like normally? We prepared a little image graphic for you. This is an airport. They want to tender, let's say, the fire extinguisher system. They're going to use a platform, for example, the EU TED platform. The construction companies can see the bid, can see the tender, and do their own calculations. Now they will upload their bids. What happens? The information flows to a very centralized and not 100% trustworthy source. So here are people involved. They might talk. We might have two people knowing each other, liking each other. What will happen? Of course, this guy is going to win the deal, and both of them are going to make money. Now, how does SafeBit work? SafeBit is a little different. Now, we have here a smart contract stored in a blockchain that the Flughafen deals with. What happens now? They, again, calculate what they want to bid, but this time, this information is going to stay on their same old machine, on their computer, throughout the bidding timeline is reached. What happens? Our platform that they use creates a hash of the bid. The bid stays on their laptop, but the hash goes on the blockchain and is securely stored there. After the time is up, our application sends the clear amount of the bid onto the smart contract, and he will evaluate, together with politicians, the winner. Benefits are there for all stakeholders, believe it or not. For the government, they can restore public trust. For the companies, they have a chance in the long run to gain a competitive edge and actually not be profitable by knowing the right people, but by providing the best quality and investing in good technology. For the taxpayers, it's obvious, they ensure that no tax money is lost. What did we build? We built a smart contract that's lying in a public Ethereum blockchain, and we built the interface that the construction companies and the government authorities can use. Let's take a look at the smart contract. what we did today, we set out a little challenge to 10 people in this room, asking them to give us an offer for the fire extinguisher system. And telling them, if you win, you will win real money. Now what happened? Actually, 2 of them came into our room and asked us, hey, can we somehow work together? Maybe you can give us advice, what should we bid? And we said, okay, sure, let's take a look at our system. The problem is we don't really operate it, we can only use it as a Flughafen. And then we took a look at the transactions. This is the transaction of a company, construction company, sending a bid. Now what do we see? We only see, it was construction company number 1, but we only see the hash. So we told our 2 friends, sorry, there's nothing we can do. Now we can take a look at some other transactions. For example, this is a transaction, bad bid. Our platform, of course, realizes if one of the bids that has stayed on the private machine was modified after the ending of the process, because it compares the hash to the hash that was previously stored on the blockchain. We will detect if it's a bad bid. And maybe we can show a third transaction. Of course, our smart contract will also provide the guidelines for determining the winner, not only based on price, but also based on other criteria. And here we can see, constructor 1 won the game. Now, coming back to our presentation, what else did we build? We also built, next slide please. We also built the platform for both parties to use. Just show you one quick screenshot. This is for the construction companies. Here they can specify their bid. When they click on submit bid, here we see again it's staying on their machine, but our platform creates the hash and pushes it into the blockchain. Now, what I presented you now is just a tiny piece of the entire process we're imagining that's possible for the future.
Thank you very much. Questions? Who's first?
Can we see the bids later of the others? Okay.
You didn't win though.
Who else? More questions? Yes, please.
Who would operate the infrastructure of the whole network?
Either we as a startup, or we as a startup.
In this case, it would be centralized.
No. You want to answer? No, because everything is stored on the smart contract, and this is what we provide. And we will not allow anyone to modify it unless,
we just create an interface to make the constructor and the public agency to communicate with the smart contract. That's actually what we do.
Thank you.
So they will have to trust in the interface, obviously. Then I need to trust your company that the interface is correct.
The other option would be that not we run the system, but that the system itself. Of course, you always need some kind of administrator, because in the construction industry things might change all the time. So we have to put some more thought into that concept. I agree to that, yeah.
More questions? Fine, thank you very much. So that was about it. Thank you for your presentation. The next team is the remittance mobile money. And can I get the next team already to get ready so that as soon as we start the questioning round, we can already set up everything that we need. So the next group, please be ready. And we are now about to see remittance mobile money. So we're getting ready. Again, also for you, we have the time displayed here in the front row. So, time? Yeah, everyone is having a good time. Give us a sign when you're ready. Okay? Perfect. Microphone and good luck.
All right, just a quick question. Has anybody of you tried sending money back to Africa, to family, friends on a regular basis? So I probably guess the answer is no. I have on a regular basis, and the thing is that not everybody has a bank account. Only 10% of the African population does. And to collect the cash in the city, it always takes like half a day. That's why we think that the new way to receive money is with mobile money. Now, what is mobile money? First of all, mobile money is an electronic wallet that allows you to send, receive, and store money on your mobile phone. It doesn't matter whether it's a smartphone or basic feature phone. Your bank account, your phone number acts like a bank account number, and it's powered by a telco provider, just like you see here. Now, what do we want to do? We want to combine monetary blockchains with the traditional banking system we have here and with mobile money. Now, this is how we want to do it. On the one hand, you have our traditional bank account and you have the mobile money account. And in the middle, you have the renewed ecosystem. The renewed ecosystem then finds the suitable currency, the suitable exchange, and the suitable rate to then transfer that money into a mobile money account in Nigeria. The advantage of this system is we're not reliant on any exchange, on any cryptocurrency. We can find the suitable rate for ourselves and any associated fees on the way, and we can lock the rate for as much as 60 seconds. Now, we did a test transaction. I sent money, 50 euros to my cousin, which is, in this case, his email, and here you see his phone number. And you can see he received the amount he received at that moment. And let me just pinpoint the date, January 12th, which is a Saturday. That means we are able to send money 24/7. And he could cash that money. He got the money. Now, and here you can see, let me just take a step back. The transaction history we were able to track. We were able to track the amount, how much Bitcoin we got for the 50 euros, and how much we sent, he got, and we then, at the end, how much he received. Now, just to give you an idea how big the remittance market is, in total it's approximately $600 billion industry. Alone the EU sends over 130 billion, and to Africa from the EU is around roughly 30 billion. These are 2015 figures. The 2016 figures even exceed 600 billion. Now, how does our business model works like, or could work? First, we have the two service lines, normal and express. Normal gives you the opportunity to send money for free, but not that fast. This allows us to find the best rate and the best exchange, and we can gain money on the exchange rate. Or you can choose the express way. We send money instantly. We secure the rate for you, and you pay a small fee so that we can protect any downside risk. And a potential revenue model could look like this. If you look at the European remittance market to Africa, how much we're able to earn on average on a transaction, bearing in mind the customer doesn't pay up to this amount, and how many transactions we want to do by 2020, which is just a drop in the ocean when you look at the global market, and the potential transaction volume, we're able to generate revenues of between 5 to 15 million. Now, our team consists of myself, Ernest. I have experience in corporate M&A, private equity, and finance, and I know the problem, I think, good enough. And Martin, one of our developers, PhD holder in computer science, Manon, another developer, he knows the problem, I think, even better than me. And Dagmar, who we met here at the hackathon, who has excellent relationships to mobile money providers we can contact and test the transaction throughout. Now, what we're asking for, what we could do with the prize money is further test transactions, challenge the system, validate our concept, and just And if you want to contact us, you can write us an email or go on our website. And yes, looking forward to your responses. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So can I get the next team already to set up? Maybe you guys come a bit further here on stage so that we have space over there, and we start with the questioning round. Questions?
So first question, what did you do on this hackathon here?
So on the hackathon, with the things that the test transaction was not fully automated, so we couldn't, first that time we did the test transaction, it was not fully automated. We didn't choose the best part, we just wanted to try and push money through. And what we tried is to automate the process and perhaps see what kind of quotes we get and then push money through on the best blockchain.
So what was your implementation during?
We worked on the...
We work on the technological part, and also we try to refine our business case.
Okay, so what did you implement here?
The implementation was not finished. Then we are not finished right now. We have a roadmap, and not everything is finished right now. Okay. So we are going forward.
One question, you have, if I trust you to select the right transaction layer, like Bitcoin or whatever you have there, why do I need this transaction layer in the first place then? Because I already trust your system, so you can do the transaction yourself?
The transaction has to go through the system in order for it to be processed.
Why?
Because the thing is that with international transfers, you always need someone who, let's say, settles the payment, and this ecosystem is the payment settlement, without any third party involved settling the payment in the background.
Money laundering laws and banks with KYC rules, lots of regulations. And we actually spent a lot of time yesterday speaking and getting some more legal clarifications, so thank you for that. And we take a lot of hope on that, specifically also using the discussions with Ghana that we had with mobile money folks, where we investigated, this piece of the ecosystem and further validated that what is there can actually work. Does that answer your question? Not quite.
One last short question. How do I put my traditional currency into your system if I have euro on my German bank account?
So it's like you do a normal transaction, SEPA transaction to us, and you then send the money to our system and then pay it into the mobile money account. Yeah, that's basically.
The time is up. Thank you very much. Good luck to you. So our next group is now logistics. Your time will be shown on the iPad. Right. You guys seem to be ready. Good luck.
First of all, thank you very, very much for organizing this event. I personally very appreciate the part of this event. So we are Co-Logistics, the team name, and we try to optimize the entire, logistic industry. So I wanted to, describe the kind of big picture before the product, the demo. But my teammate said, "Oh, don't do that. Just dive into the product demo." So yeah, just a demo first, and then I try to wrap up the big picture. So yeah.
Hi. Everyone has needs, of course. Some people need to have their Amazon packages shipped. Some people just need some new tires for their assembly line to keep things rolling. Also, some people just want to have a pizza for their Netflix movie in the evening after a hard day of work. And others maybe are sick and just need someone to have their dog walked. And how we're going to solve this? Of course, in every movement, there is movement from point A to point B. In this case, there could be some shipping to a factory, for example, to move some tires. But of course, on the way somewhere, there could also be a package waiting for someone to get delivered to someone else. So why, if we're already driving that way, can't we take a small detour and also take this package to the other person? And then the truck would drive the detour and take the things with him, if he has some space left in the truck. But of course, this could also be a jogger that's going through a park, he's jogging that road anyway. Why can't he just walk the dog of someone else that's currently sick? And let's jump into the demo. So we did this whole thing with a kind of chatbot. Chatbot is a nice interface. For example, if someone is driving, he can control it by his voice. And on the left side, there would be someone who is going to offer, he wants to have something shipped. So he says, I need shipping. And of course, the chatbot will ask him like what he's going, what he's needing to ship. In this case, like let's say 30 tires. And the chatbot then will ask, yeah, where do you want to have it shipped? Of course, he can say to my current location or choose another location. And then the most important, how much do you offer for this service? Because this will be a marketplace where then people take him up on his offer or not. And there we can see like what the voice input looks like. 50. Of course, then we make it cheaper, but we could also correct it. In this case, it's cheaper. Great, your offer was added to the ledger, and now it's part of the offers that others can take him up on. For example, now the truck driver, he's now starting his route, he wants to earn some extra money. He opens his chatbot, and he now says, I'm starting my route. And the bot asks him, where are you headed? Stuttgart. And sometimes it's recognized, that's awesome. And you can always correct it, so if something does not work out. And he is asked, hey, you could maybe, if you're going that direction, can't you pick up the 30 tires, like from Leonberg to Vaihingen? It would have been 20 kilometers of detour, but you would get like 60. And awesome, so please pick up the tires now. In this case, he has accepted the offer and would now be responsible for it. Now, back to the one, let's say happy case. Of course, the tires reach their destination, but one side needs to trigger the payment, and he says, now I have received my delivery, and the bot asks him, yeah, which one? So I say like the 30 tires, and in this case, the carrier would have been paid. And now we can go back to the business case.
Yes, so yeah, thank you very much for the demo. Yes, so fundamentally we wanted to optimize the logics. Basically, prototype says everything, but one thing that I wanted to emphasize is the more like the reconciliation for financial settlement, because the one critical issue for logistics, even though we having a lot of digitalization platform, but still in the underneath, they are relying on the some sort of a conventional business the management. For example, financial settlement, it takes 5 to 10 days after carrier successfully deliver the delivery because of the reconciliation. But we are using blockchain. Basically, the data stored is basically every time up to dated, which basically mutually agreed upon. And then
thank you. The time is up. So we continue now with the question round. Thank you. So, any questions by our jury? Yes.
One question. What about insurance aspects?
Insurance aspects, yeah. For example, if driver steal the material or something, right? That's right. Insurance. So what exactly like?
Yeah, a truck driver is working for a company or something, and he has a route. He has to drive from A to B, and now he opens his app and sees, oh, okay, I could take some tires with me and earn some extra money. What about the insurance for this extra tour?
I think a good question, because I've been trying to come up the algorithm. So basically, for example, before accepting the specific settlement offer, basically as an insurance to send the deposit or something, and also if the late delivery is late or some sort of something happened, and then it's also the record that's kind of the penalty data into the global ledger, and then after the transaction done, we reconcile the every the event. But we try to figure out the specific algorithm, but still working on it. So yes, am I answering question? Well, I don't know exactly the insurance, but yeah.
Questions? What blockchain did you use, and why do you need blockchain for such marketplace?
Basically, we are using the private blockchain, specifically Hyperledger. There's a bunch of the general reasons that we basically don't want to store the centralized database because they need to maintain the in centralized manner. So in general, we want to manage the system in decentralized manner, and that's the one reason. And also, one more thing is that very critical thing is that I've mentioned, but I just want to the record instead of using the typical software database, but rather using the global common ledger, which basically every single time is the up-to-date data, and then every data is basically, before storing the data, the mutually agreed upon, and also again up to date every single time, which means that after later, when it's time to reconcile the every single record in terms of finance, we no longer necessary, because again, the data is already agreed and everything up to date. So I think that's the critical thing that we want to use blockchain for, let's say, distributed ledger technology. Yes.
Thank you very much. So the questioning time is over. Thank you. And our next group coming to stage is the group Trans 2. You guys seem to be ready. The time will be shown on the iPad. Good luck, 5 minutes.
That's right. Thank you very much. We are the group Trans, and we prepared a logistics case for you. We want to make your supply chain transparent. Our vision is that, for example, medicine, which is essential for surviving, should not be linked to the trust into logistics and manufacturing. So, first of all, we will present our idea in a small video, which we will show now, and later on we will show you the web application in a live demo. So the video, we have a customer that comes to a pharmacy and says that he has a product need for a special product. So the pharmacy gets in touch with a pharma company and develops a new product design according to the customer needs. The pharma company as well creates a smart contract with product details like temperature or vibration, which the product could not oversee. Then, because the production is really expensive, we need an investor, like the LBBW, for example, which would be our bank in this case. The pharma company calls for a tender afterwards, and the manufacturer and the logistic provider bid for the tender. As well, we need sensor data, so we need a sensor provider, which could be Bosch in this example, and the sensor data is recorded on the blockchain throughout the whole production and delivery process. So the manufacturer starts the production, produces the product, and when the production has finished, the quality criteria are sent to the blockchain, and the token, which is the yellow one here, saves the ownership of the product, and if the product meets the requirements, then the smart contract automatically releases money to the manufacturer. Then, in this case, the logistic provider arrives. They could, for example, use trucks of Daimler. He picks up the product, the token, the ownership goes to the token, and the truck drives to the pharmacy. Product is delivered, and the product sends information that the product is alright, that the temperature hasn't overseeded, and that it weren't too much shocks. So the logistics provider provided the product and gets money out of the smart contract automatically, and the product is in the ownership of the pharmacy right now. The token is actualized,
and then in the end the customer arrives at the pharmacy and checks, probably via his smartphone, if the product over the whole lifetime of the supply chain was shipped according to the quality criteria, like the temperature. The customer then, if he agrees, pays the pharmacy and takes the product. And in the end, all criteria have been met, and the LBBW in this case receives the money out of the smart contract. Okay. So this was the video. Now I hand on to
Yeah, thanks. I will start with a short demo of the prototype we produced during the last 2 days and nights. We can see a rough interface here, and it's possible to create an offer, for example, for medicines, and you can put in a price. So that is the overview for the seller. And if the offer is created, then the customer is able to order a specific amount of it. And after the order is placed, then the bank could see an overview, like, okay, there's an order for medicines with a total value of 5 millions, and he's able to fund it. And after the funding, the seller sees, okay, yeah, I have the money, now I can send the request. And the request is going to the manufacturing, which is able to accept it and to finish the work. And all the steps are logged on the blockchain. And yeah, the next part is the shipping request. And there are all the criteria which have to be met. And they are all on the blockchain. He can accept it. And after the shipping is done to the customer, he can see, okay, this was the criteria. And I have an overview.
Thank you very much. Time used nicely. So can I get your potential to confirm? And any questions by our jury? Do you like big buttons?
Yes, of course we do. No, we cannot.
Any more questions? Any more questions? Come on, let's use the time up for the boys. Any questions, Carsten?
How did you implement all that stuff? Is it all implemented, the whole thing?
That's a good question. Yeah, everything's implemented on Ethereum in Solidity and fully unit tested.
Guys, you can come on stage. Come on stage. Yeah.
So we did not necessarily want the full decentralized part of Ethereum, but we had problems with peer-to-peer solutions as well, as for example how it would make it significantly harder to do a tender. How we would improve that is, for example, to use Quorum, but we did not see that as fit for this hackathon yet, because A, a lack of experience, and B, because it's not as far ahead as Ethereum is right now. Any more questions?
Any more questions?
Did I get it right that you started from scratch here in order to develop this?
Right.
Okay.
Well, we did prepare a virtual machine, so we had software installed, but we wrote everything here and thought of the ideas here.
The sensor part is not fully implemented, so there are no live sensors which sense data to the blockchain, just to clarify this part.
Any more questions? So, we seem to be happy. Thank you very much, guys. And our next group is now Cocktail Chain. So welcome on stage, and your time will be displayed on the iPad. Perfect, good luck.
So, how often do you really buy at your local farmer? In my village, the farmer is only open from 9 till 12, and I never really know what's in stock. So I have to admit that I don't really often go there. So our vision is to revive the local food trade. Sorry. The current system is based on unfairness and untransparency. The only winner are the big grocery stores. And we also don't really know where our food is coming from. We all have a farmer like 2 kilometers away, but we all eat meat from Poland or somewhere else. So, our name is Taste the Local, we changed our name, and our solution is a farmer and consumer network based on a blockchain, and it's the first platform for all those participants. So our motto is, keep your friends close, but keep your farmers closer. So we will remove a third party and simplify and improve the local trade administration due to our smart contracts. So there's no more administration needed. So our smart contracts enable direct transfer from customer to farmers, and it's 100% transparent. And you can also track the origin, so you really know where your food is coming from. And we also made a prototype on parity and based on Ethereum with Solidity. So I show you something of that. So here you can see it. We have a list of our farmers where you can look which farmers are included in our network and the products. And we also log every change, so they can see the new farmer is logged, the new product is logged, when a price has changed. And the thing is here, it's the most important thing, that when you buy something, you can see where the money is going. So when you buy something, you see we only have 2 farmers logged, but half of the amount of the value goes here to Farmer Will, and the other one to Farmer Michel. And yeah, there you can see at the moment we do that, every farmer gets the same percentage of the paid value. Yeah. And we also refer to the Monaco payment system, which is also based on Ethereum. So it's a credit card which you can load up with fiat currencies and then pay with cryptos. But how will we implement this? Due to our market research, Baden-Württemberg has 350 agriculture cooperatives, and we would connect them with our blockchain. With the use of the spare money, we can, which we save when we move the third party, we could build smart shops in the center of every cooperative where the participants would have 24/7 access. And in our networks also private households can participate and sell their homegrown goods, which is also known as urban farming. So, in this animation you can see our go-to-market strategy. So you can see you can buy at the shop, you can buy it by the farmer, or you can deliver something from the shop by the farmer. So, but who can you trust? Your friends, your family, by the blockchain? We anticipated a trust level system for our farmers. The lowest level is that the farmer has registered. The second one is that the cooperatives check that they can deliver what they offered. The third one is that the other inspector checked it, and the third one is that also the customers has checked it with the social oracle. And this is our user interface. We have an app and a website. They offer nearly the same thing, but we also thought we should do a website because not everyone has a smartphone yet. And it has the same function as mentioned before in the smart contract, but it's far more user-friendly. So the farmers can introduce themselves and update the stock so that we always know what the farmer has or what's in the shop. And the customer can check the stock, the supply, or the origin where the food is coming from, and buy food or make a delivery. So, but now, oh yeah, that's also the website. So, yeah, who profits? So what do farmers want? They want more earnings, no administration work, no pressure from big companies, which is also the origin of mass animal husbandry. And what do we, the customers, want? We want cheap, high-quality food, 24/7 access, transparency, health, better animal rights, and sustainability. So the better question would be, who wouldn't profit? In the end, our project is not about money, it's about revive the local trade and reconnect society. So as you can see, our solution would solve all the problems mentioned above and maybe it would help to a little bit better world. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, any questions to Taste the Local? Yes.
You said that farmers can update their stock. And where do they update it?
In the blockchain, I can show you this. So, here when you click there, there's a function. Here, add products to stock. Then you can say maybe product 0 because we start from 0, and then yeah 20. I think that's the right thing. Then it post the transaction. Okay. Then there we have. Oh, I don't know if it's already updated yet, but then this amount should get more. Sorry. Oh yeah, so 20 more.
So your website or your app isn't needed at all?
No, so that's just the prototype because we all designers, we don't know so much about developing or informatics. So our plan is to make this into the app. So the app is just the interface, and then with all those functions. So but this is not really user friendly, like you can see. You can then change to Ethereum and stuff like that. So we want to do this more user friendly into our app and our website.
But the app wouldn't be needed. I could, as a farmer, bypass the app.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, that's what we said. We have also the website because not everybody has a smartphone yet. So we thought it's more user friendly.
Perfect. Any more questions? Any more questions? Yes.
Who takes care about distribution? I mean, you have various ways in order to transport food to customers. Who's taking care about transportation network?
Yes, we have thought about that. I mean, it was slightly mentioned in the go-to-market strategy slide. So, what is the next step? We want to work together with, in German, Genossenschaften, cooperatives. They have already a lot of, let's say, connections to farmers and customers. And, you know, that is the first step to use that basis. And, you know, that's already there today. And then the next step will be, as we highlighted, you know, to connect all the other stakeholders with the platform we presented. So that is, you know, the plan is to have a kind of pilot with one Genossenschaft, and there we will work out the details, but that will be, let's say, the market entry. Does that answer your question?
That will be the market entry, and that was the exit from this question round. Thank you very much. Thank you. So our next group called itself at registration point Car Wallet. They might have changed the name, as we found out throughout. They are not immutable. No, the names are not immutable. So our next group is coming to stage. The next group coming up then called itself ImmuBook. So please get ready. And guys, give me a sign when you are ready. You are? Perfect. 5 minutes. Good luck.
Hello everybody, and thank you for making this event possible. So we are not Car Wallet, we are Datability, we shifted, and we made possible for you to make money while you drive your cars. So, okay. Every day, all the devices around us create a huge amount of data. The growth of data is 4 times bigger than the growth of the world economy. Each of these data can make it possible for us to make better services, better products, in a more efficient way. So, but how much is this data worth? I'm sure you know about companies like Facebook and Google who make billions of revenue every year with mine, your, and everybody's data for free. So what happens when we drive our cars? We create data like our location, the different parts of the car, our driving behavior, and a lot of other data. And this data is really valuable. But can I ask you, how many of you make money while you drive your car? As I expected, none of us. And we are the people with IT background, with financial background, marketing background. So what about the other people? So it's huge potential and nobody uses it nowadays. What is the problem? People like privacy, people don't like to share data. People want to control the data they share. And also, on the other side, companies would pay for money for this data, but they want to be sure that this data is legal, this data is right, and it's easily accessible. So what if I tell you that you can make money with your data and keep it private? We thought about the process, how to do that, and we made it able with blockchain. So this is a normal driver going out. He drives for 1 hour, and then the car is gonna save the data for the last hour that he created and compress it and encrypt it and send only the key, the encryption key to the blockchain, nothing else, the hash of it. Then later, 1 hour later, again and again, until at some point the guy arrives at home to his private network, so he can transfer the whole data that was generated and encrypted to our private cloud. The data here on the cloud is not connected to the blockchain, so it's encrypted data that nobody can access unless you're connected to the blockchain. So as a user, I can go to our platform website and I can see the data that I've uploaded. I can decide which data I enable people to access, like PMR, speed, fuel consumption, and then I see my money potential on this data for every record is 0.26 euro. On the other perspective, the data consumers, like companies and authorities, can see the data of people that share their data, and they see on the right side different attributes of the data. Let's say they pick 2 of the data producers and see, okay, I can access everything besides of geolocation, because people may be restricted this data. And they can query it with all kind of methods like SQL, big data methods, and so on and so on. So let me hand over to Mila to make the recap.
Okay, so let's recap now. All the problems we explained in the beginning are solved and actually make up our strengths. Our project protects our users rather than rob their data, as it's today's reality. Our users can also share what they want and also decide when what they want to change on the data what they shared. And also our consumers are protected. Now they can find data which is reliable and non-manipulated. And the best thing about it, it's legal and everybody agrees on that deal. So it's a triple win situation. The producers win, the consumers win, and we win. It's an ideal stakeholder condition. And again, why blockchain? Because blockchain increases our security, and by ensuring that people can pose as user by the digital signature. And it's not all about the car thing. It's applicable also in areas like insurance, health, and for various institutions and so on. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. A round of questions. Is there any questions? Carsten.
So what about the implementation? Do you have also a running system?
Yeah, actually not. We started here without no knowledge in blockchain, but we formalized the transactions and anything we need, like for example, a compose key for both users and consumers, and yeah, the transactions to store data there and also to search through it, but we didn't implement it.
Who's next?
I saw that you had, if I can upload my data, I can see money potential. How is that calculated? Where does it come from?
This is just an example now, but it should be calculated according to history data. So what were companies ready to pay for data like that of other people? Depending on that, we calculate the predicted potential of future data.
Okay, so this would be calculated by your company, this number?
Yes. Finally, our company would be kind of marketplace for data, and depending on prices, like people who want to share data and people who want to buy data, the price is going to be set.
Would like to add another question? No more further questions, so thank you very much for your presentation. Our next group presenting is called itself ImuBook, and they're getting set up. The group following is then Blockhead, so please start getting ready. So, guys, give me a sign when you're ready to go. I'm still getting the equipment ready. You also have 5 minutes for your presentation. So you guys seem to be ready. Your time is running. Good luck. Welcome to the sexiest topic today. Bookkeeping. That's right. Everyone wants to hear more about bookkeeping, so I'm gonna start by showing you why it is actually sexy and how it works today, what the problem is with that. So bookkeeping today looks like this. If this isn't sexy to you, by the way, I don't know what is, right? So today, anyone can cook their books. You know, add a little zero there, add another zero there, off to the Cayman Islands. Is that fair? No. But it can be solved with blockchain. And is it legal? No, technically, but you know, that Lambo looks pretty sweet. So, yeah, people can do it today, and they do it, and with blockchain, we can solve part of that problem. So, it is a $1 billion problem, thousands of transactions, thousands of financial statement frauds are committed every year. The average is close to $1 million lost, and this means, yeah, billions of dollars lost that could be prevented. Now, how would immutable bookkeeping help with that? It has two properties which are tamper-proof. You cannot go back in time and change your data. And the second one is verifiable. You can prove, for example, to a bank that you have not manipulated your data, which means less risk for everyone involved, and that is great for everyone. So this enables a ton of new use cases, for example, easier and automated audits, but also better and easier loan agreements. If you want to, build a new factory, for example, and you can prove to your bank that you have not tampered with your books, that means less risk, and you can have a better loan agreement term. There's also automatic trade receivables management, which if you sell a ton of sensors, for example, to a car manufacturer, he's going to pay you, but he's going to take a couple of weeks, 6, 8, maybe, who knows. In that time, you have a cash flow problem. So what do? You're going to sell that receivable to a bank, for example, at a discount. There's risk involved. If you can prove that this exists on the blockchain, you can transfer that receivable automatically. That creates new use cases as well. But Andreas is going to talk about the use case we focus on, which is automatic financial ratings of companies. But the whole vision of this is to really, when everything is on the blockchain, and it eventually will be, every asset will be on the blockchain, every contract, every receivable, a lot of new things can be done, and we try to build the technology to enable this.
So, how are we going to do this? That's pretty simple. The company bookkeeping data will be held within a private environment, which is secured on a private or a public blockchain. The platform we are providing will be open to the data representation technology, which can be optimized for special use cases. That's pretty cool. But how are we going to do this? We will provide a marketplace to empower banks and facilitate companies' businesses. Based on the continuous bookkeeping data from the companies, we aggregate the data to standardized values like cash flow. We sell the aggregated bookkeeping data to the banks so they can use their calculational models to generate the rating. Based on the continuous calculations, the banks can continuously adapt the company's interest rate and credit line. Other companies or banks can buy the ratings from different banks based on the requested company's approval. We charge the inquiring company and bank a fee and forward the bank a certain shared fee. Oh, and one more thing. First rule, what happens in accounting stays in accounting. But more important, the second rule, what happens on the blockchain stays on the blockchain. Thank you.
So guys, you stay on stage. Maybe you move a bit more on the platform so that we have time for the others. And okay, then we'll go and start with our round of questions.
So what's new about your business model? I mean, having rating agencies in place, already sharing data with companies, banks sharing data, or companies sharing data with banks, and they're using that for implementing, creating own ratings. What's new on your model?
Thank you for your question. What is important about our business model is that we use the blockchain as a means to actually have the bookkeeping data immutable. This is basically the most important feature, so that we have the service for the company and the guarantee to the bank that there is trust and trust plus proof instead of just trusting or on having infringed papers.
Okay, continue.
Basically, what you're saying is that you provide better quality of data compared to what rating agencies or banks are receiving today, right?
Yes, more often data. You have the shorter periods, you don't have it in real time, but in shorter periods compared to quarter reports.
If you already implemented something or created something from a technological point of view?
We didn't have the time to do that, but we took the whole time using the very helpful mentors to check if the concept can be realized. And we were proud to say that we can realize this kind of concept.
We did not have a lot of financial background in our team, so...
Any more questions?
There's still time, you can ask.
There's still time to ask. Getting suggested. So we're fine. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. So we have a very valuable suggestion from our organizing team. Before we continue, let's take a 5-minute break. We continue now with our presentations. Please welcome Blockheads. Your time is running.
Yes, thank you very much. My name is Marcel. I'm founder of Fun Projects. I'm here with my teams of developers. We are from the beautiful city of Kassel. And special thanks to Martin and to Daniel, some local guides, they joined our team. I'll show you our business case. You all know alpaca is the new unicorn. So there is a company called the Alpaca Superfood Company, and they made superfood for alpacas. But they don't own devices for production food. So they rent fruit replicators from Acme and packaging machines from the Awesome Package SE. And they have the Röhrig maintenance company that makes maintenance, and there is a bad insurance agency or AG for insurance. And they think, hey, how can we store all the data and how can we trust each other? And that insurance agency have a great idea. They do a bad insurance cloud. So everyone put its data in this cloud and do the analytics, and everyone is happy for a time. But after a time, that insurance cloud says, oh, maybe we increase the price or end the support or get bankrupt. We don't know. And then you have pain. The problem is you have a window lock. So the alpacas are not happy. So what can we do? What we need is a safe, decentralized and all buzzword things for blockchain. And that is what we built. Let me show you. We have built some smart sensors. Normally this should be a video, but it's a live demo. You will see it over there. And with these smart sensors, they produce data. Here you see the temperature of the room is very hot inside, and we put it directly into the ledger, distributed ledger. We built it with IOTA, and we built it with Ethereum. But we also want that the processing, the whole processing suite is also stored in the ledger. That no one can manipulate even the
calculated data later. So take a look, you have a sensor node and algorithmics, and each of them pushes outcomes to the ledger. And this is very cool. Now you have no WAN login, but it's pretty hard to use. And we think that has to be easier. So I told you we are a little startup, so we bring a tool to this date. We have a graphical editor that you can easily, so you should be funny. That you can model the whole process graphically, and afterwards, what we build here, you can generate the output that you get microservices that you can start on your own PC. And the microservices do the calculation, connect it to a ledger. Here you see you're getting an address, and then you're pushing the data to the ledger. Yeah, this is funny, that's cool, but we want to see the data. So we built a little tool that we can analyze the data that we push in the ledger. So it's a little web-based tool, and I do the video stuff by hand. You can easily select maybe the road data. We connected the mobility data marketplace by the government, and you have some road data. It's somewhere in Nordrhein-Westfalen, and maybe scroll to the end. There you see this smart sensor we have tested. You see the temperature get cold. We hold it out of the window and then put it back on the Heizung, and then you get this. So, how we pay our bills? It's very easy. Flow Studio, we do so it's as a Flow Studio as a service. You can do it by your own, but that's very hard. The algorithmic outcome is pushed to the ledger, so we can get some licensing by the algorithmic consulting, etc. Blah, blah, blah. And I will put it together. Everything we have done is on the GitLab. Download it. Look what we do. If you have more information, just ask me. And we have 10 seconds more time.
Basically, the systems that we are talking about would need to monitor your production line. That's the whole story. So you have sensors really taking care of checking maintenance status, oil levels, and operating.
Thank you very much. So the time is up. Wonderful. So, any questions from our jury? Let's have a look. The question round is open. Yes, please.
We put the whole sensor data on both. You can switch it easily. The analytics part, we just do it on the IOTA. We have not enough time to put it on the eternal cloud. So, but it's possible.
Yeah. Basically what we did is we challenged IOTA versus Ethereum. IOTA was, there are a lot of services which you can see. There was this graphical editor, microservices have been generated operating on the ledger, and this was kind of complicated. So what we did is we did a small proof of concept, pushed the sensor data in a private Ethereum network, just to verify what technology suits us best with the data, and we found out that IOTA was preferred over Ethereum.
Thank you very much. So, any more questions? This is just a questioning round, right? So, okay, so any questions? More questions? Okay, fine. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, you may. Okay, our next group. Okay, our next group is called BLTY. You guys are getting ready. You can also come up on stage, you know that, right? So don't need to hide there in the corner. You have the clicker. Give us a sign, please, when you're ready. Clicker. Is everything ready? Not yet. Just a sec. The time will be displayed on the iPad.
All right.
So we're right.
So who's of you is using car sharing or car rental services? Please raise your hand. Thanks. I think all of you know how the condition of the car is. I think it's normally bad. So, that's why we would like to set incentives to the users, and we are Mosins, and yeah, we would like to set incentives to new mobility. How would you do this? So the problem is that people don't care about the condition of the goods. The good they are renting or they're sharing. So in our case, they're vehicles. So the condition in the interior and also the exterior isn't well, but also the technical issue. So they're using the gears and the brakes slightly too hard, and they press the speed too much. So the vehicle is too used. Our solution is to set incentives to the user to have a good driver behavior. And in our case, it's for rented and shared vehicles. But how can the user, the driver, benefit? So in our case, it's we would like to have a bounty system, and it should be for cross companies. So Sixt or Car2Go and also Drive Now all should have these benefits, so that we have a score for the user that he can say, I'm a good driver, I need to pay just less. And if I'm a bad driver, and I need to pay a bit more. Also, I can see my driving behavior on the live screen. And the companies can also benefit from the better condition of the vehicle. So after using them in the rental or sharing services, they can sell it for more money. And also, they can look how the behavior of the car is. So they can do a kind of predictive maintenance, and they can also compensate the loss of value they get because of the bad usage. So we also did a small business canvas, because we would like to expand our business model with AI and also with a vehicle-to-vehicle communication. And we also can make money.
To illustrate a bit this concept, we created quick mockups, and as we already mentioned, it's based on two sides. So first off, we have the user side, and let's imagine the user has an app, and on this app you can see his behavior that he has had in the past, the way he drove with the rental or shared cars. Then when he hops into his car, the car automatically detects, hey, he has his phone with him, so the car detects him. That could look like this. And what would he see in the car, on the screen in the car? So he could choose to, for example, the way he approaches other cars and see how far or distant he is from the cars, and how often. He could also see a list to get an idea in the past and so on. But on the other side, for the companies, for the sharing and rental companies, they would also need a tool. So we thought of a web app where they could see sort of the same thing. This could be like that. So they would choose the cars that they have to rent or share, and there they could also see the status of the brakes, for example, of the engine, and stuff like that. And they could check it. They could get more information from how it developed in the past during the year, the season, like that. And now I'd like to give it to you to talk about the hack that you did with the little card.
With the car, okay. So what we did in the last 3 days, we implemented a prototype. We used this car and put some sensors on it, only one. And when a certain threshold, this is like a distance measure sensor, and when a certain threshold is reached, we save this information in the blockchain over a smart contract. Yeah. And in the blockchain, we have a full history of one driver and his behavior, which he can then use to show to other, maybe for insurance, to show how his driving behavior is.
Thank you. So the questioning round is open. Mr. Treiber.
Did you met here at the hackathon, and did you bring some stuff with you?
Actually, we brought nothing. So we brought no idea. We just figured out our idea on Saturday morning. And after that, we implemented this on Ethereum because it's quite easy to set it up. And yeah, so we used a private test chain, so I think you don't need that much preparation for this.
Any more questions?
So what kind of information did you write to the blockchain? Only the sensor data?
Yes, so actually we, on one hand, we write the sensor data to the blockchain, but after the driver went out of the car, we score his driving behavior, and every driver has its own public key, so we also store the score to the user so that all companies within this consortium can read out the data for the score for the user.
Okay.
More questions? Yes.
So how about the incentivizing of driver? I mean, will this be done by insurance companies, by Car2Go, or the other care sharing companies, or how should this work?
The incentivizing?
Yeah, from a business model point of view.
Yeah, you get a discount for all your driving behavior. So if you're a good driver, do you mean this side? Yeah. So if you're a good driver, you get discount, but not only for one company, you get discount for all companies who are participating in our consortium. So you can share your driving behavior and say, I'm a good driver. But the point is, if you're not that good in driving, or if you have an accident once, you wouldn't be, you shouldn't pay that much if you have never driven before. So you start on a very high level with the price, go down, and if you have an accident, you just go a bit higher, but not that high, because we would like to collect data for the driving behavior. Yeah, I was.
Perfect. So the time is almost up. Another 7 seconds. Thank you very much for your presentation, guys. Our next group, which should be ready already.
Yeah, ready.
Yeah, perfect. It's a trustable cam. Your time will be shown on the iPad. Good luck.
Yes, hello. Welcome. I have the pleasure to introduce you now our hackathon project called Trustable Cam. First, a few words to the context of our project. In our project, we focused on surveillance systems. Surveillance systems are more and more popular these days. There are a lot of different applications out there that already use such systems. For example, drone cams, body cams worn by police officers, or for us, the most interesting use case, so-called dash cams. Dash cams are small camera devices that are located inside a car to legally protect the driver of the car or the owner of the car in case of an accident. It's a trend, it's an emerging trend that video material produced by these systems is used or is accepted by courts in different countries, for example in Russia or in Great Britain. Now let's come to the problem. As the image might suggest, the problem we try to solve with our project is not Donald Trump. The problem was we try. The problem is that video material is highly manipulatable using specialized software tools. If a court contests the integrity or the authenticity of a video file, it is required to hire a very expensive forensic expert to analyze this video. This is not only cost intensive, this is too very time consuming. And the fact is that there is currently no solution out there that is simple, cost efficient and automated to prevent that video footage was tampered with after a specific point in time. And this is exactly where our solution comes in. We tried to use distributed ledger technologies to make a tamper-proof video evidence system, saving time and legal fees. And now I will show you a very professional demo video we produced this morning. Here you can see our test setup. We used very cheap hardware, a Raspberry Pi with a small camera, and two Bosche to simulate the actual accident. Here you can see in the background, you can see the video we recorded, and after the collision was detected, you can see that our system started automatically in the background, and the system is now recording a video instantly after the collision. And the first step that we do then is to encrypt the video file, to split it into small parts of data and upload it to a decentralized cloud storage called StoreJ. We do this because we want to be sure that nobody is able to remove this video persistently, so only the owner of the private key, of the StoreJ private key, is able to re-download this video for example, for evidence in a court. The next step, what we do is we build the hash value of the video, and we upload it to a blockchain called KSI. KSI is a blockchain. It comes from Estonia. The Estonian government already uses it for their e-health system and for the e-government system, and a lot of other countries, for example, the US Army already use KSI technology to save their data and make their data tamper-proof. With Trustable Cam, we think we can save this problem, and we can provide this system to, for example, to car rental providers or to car sharing providers. But we think the biggest market is if we could provide this technology to insurance companies, because nearly 10% of insurance claims are caused of fraud, and we think, for example, in countries like Russia, there could be a huge amount of money that could go back to insurance companies if they would provide their customers systems like dash cams equipped with our technology. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So we are opening up the round of questions, and can I ask already the group pothole to step forward, please? Okay, questions. Let's see what our jury...
how do you make sure that the camera itself isn't tampered with? I mean, if you upload stuff which is already wrong in the first place, you don't gain too much.
Yeah, that is a very good question. Of course, for this proof of concept, we were not able to use tamper-proof hardware. We just used a Raspberry Pi. Of course, a Raspberry Pi is very vulnerable to different attacks. But if we would use this product in production, we would search for tamper-proof hardware, or we would develop by ourselves a tamper-proof hardware. Yes.
Any more questions? Yep.
So what did you actually implement then? So we saw the test video, and the thing always records during the whole time, or is there a special trigger?
No, it's not good from the view of point that you save all the data during a trip. We just cache the video And when there is a collision detected, we cache the video of the last 30 seconds or last 60 seconds, and when a collision is detected, we just save the very important or the exact moment when a collision was detected, and 10 seconds before and a few seconds later. So we don't store the privacy information of all the trips.
Could this technology be used to also have the full supply chain, maybe of the of video to the monitor, then to tamper-proof this in the next step, maybe?
Yes, of course. There's a lot of potential to improve this product or this idea.
More questions? That doesn't seem to be the case. Well, thank you very much. Get back to your seats, guys. Thank you. And our next group presenting will be the group Pothole. So you have 5 minutes. Will be displayed on the iPad. Good luck.
Thank you. So we are the team Pothole. We are not only potholes. The first thing I thought is maybe we are the potholes. But look at this. This is something that maybe not every one of you knows, but this is a situation you run into in a German Autobahn currently. You know, there are lots of trucks going there. The first truck says, "Oh my God, I just ran inside a pothole." And the next one also said, "Fuck, inside a pothole," you know, and there's the next pothole coming up, "Whoa, right inside the pothole." But then someone has to tell the government, "Okay, please repair the Autobahn." Not happening all the time, and the situation is even worse in Britain, as far as I know. There are even people, you know, painting penises around the potholes there and saying, "This man is painting penises on potholes, so the council has to take action." Okay, so it's really, it's a well-known problem, I think, for all of us. Many have this problem. We try to make Daimler happy and try to get around it. So this is the last action that we did today for our demoing upstairs on the other building. We have built some sensor data machine. You can already take the stage if you want. Wojciech, you are going to be presented live now. Wait. This is the application that we built. It doesn't look that nice, but we will demonstrate it live for you. Let's look if my terminal is working. Looks nice. Let's see if my application is working. Looks nice. So, wait, before I touch it, I will explain to you. So imagine this is a street. On the left-hand side, this is Cologne. On the right-hand side, this is Stuttgart. Or the other way around, it doesn't matter actually. And what we now will demonstrate, a pothole in the street will trigger that little device here, which is a Bosch XDK IoT sensor. And if it hits the street, we will see some data appear here. And now this is your demo time. Did not work. Enable. Enable Bluetooth. Yes. Did the job work? Okay, I hope this worked. Yeah. Okay, very nice. So we are using IOTA to store the data. And the IOTA tangle is not exactly a blockchain, at least it's not that what in a classical sense a blockchain is meaning. It's some highly distributed kind of blockchain. Oh, there it is. This was our current transaction. You see there was a line drawn that there is in the nearby kilometer is 6.75 on that street. There's maybe some pothole risk. So since most of us were developers and we have one half a designer, we want to bore you a little bit with our little setup, because it was rather hard to put everything together. So we have that NFC chip, the Bosch XDK, which is sending data via Bluetooth to Android. On Android, we have a Node.js server running. Yes, you understood correctly. That Node.js server is sending data to the IOTA tangle, and we're opening MAM streaming data on IOTA, which was not that hard, but also not that easy to figure out how to do it, actually. So in the end, everything is stored in the tangle, all the messages that are incoming about the potholes, and well, we have some key values stored on the web, which our good Spanish-Portuguese colleague David found out. It's a really nice service. You can put stuff on it and we'll just store it, and it doesn't cost you anything as far as we know. But the way ahead is maybe more interesting. Where's the tablet, actually? This is the tablet. Oh, sorry, I have not seen you. Oh, very nice. I have 1 minute to go. So, the way ahead. What about the potholes? There were lots of guys coming to our room and, well, ripping us out of our work, asking, what are you doing, guys? And they were especially asking, do you have some kind of business model or some idea what you want to do with it actually. And then I was mostly going outside with them and say, okay, let's have a coffee, let's talk about it. And we were talking about ideas like very simple car-to-car communication solutions. Like, okay, if there's a pothole in the street and this device makes it possible to send in 20 seconds the information that there is a pothole, and maybe 10 devices or 10 trucks go right through that pothole, the 11th truck, which is maybe driving autonomously in the future, may not go into it. So you save maintenance costs in the end because not that many trucks go into potholes, maybe even normal drivers. This leads us to point number 2, the predictive maintenance. So if the truck went into 1,000 potholes, it's rather likely that it's broken. So you can already make an appointment at the construction garage or somewhere and have repair it. And the last thing, and this is something that also David was suggesting, maybe some of you guys, the IOTA guys, know that the data market is something that I don't understand on IOTA, but it allows you to store lots of data in the IOTA tangle. And this is more or less encrypted as far as I understood, but you can answer the questions if it's really upcoming, and you can sell it. So if all of us, car drivers, actually I'm also one, go into the potholes, we can store the data in the tangle, and then someone can sell it. So people who are raising the data, actually. I think the last slide is, okay, we solved the problem with the penis, and we are Team Pothole. Thank you. Take the stage for the questions.
May I ask, please, then Team Decentralized Credit Pool to get ready, and we are opening up our rounds of questions. Questions?
Yes, we did everything here.
Yeah, wonderful.
Maybe 2 questions. Why do we need a blockchain technology here? First one. Second one, I mean, you elaborated on the business model as such. It's still not clear to me who's going to pay for information you create out of your business.
There are 2 questions. I try to answer them, but I don't know if I really know the answer. But so maybe first with the business model. We know that the data markets are actually one of the most exploited ideas on top of the IOTA tangle. We don't know if this is going to work, but what we have seen when we implement that, there are lots of options how to interact with the tangle and how to do things differently than you do on classical blockchains. Question first, why to use the blockchain? Really good question. You have lots of, why IOTA? You have the major advantage, of course, that everything is just there. It cannot be deleted like that. The other thing is, the good thing about IOTA is, with the MAM streaming actually, if you put something inside, it's immediately coming out of the box so people can trigger it. They can see, oh my God, there's a pothole, we can go and repair it. It's not only about potholes. I mean, you can also trigger it when something else is happening. Maybe there's an accident or something, okay?
Thank you very much. Any more questions?
And we are running the IRI on our own.
So that doesn't seem to be the case. Well, thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Our next group here ready on stage is Decentralized Credit Pool. And you guys tell me when you're ready. You are? Perfect. So you have 5 minutes and your time is running. Good luck.
Okay, thank you. Hi, I'm Stefan, and together with Alex and Matthias, we worked on a real-world engagement. I've been involved over some time, some 10 years, I think. Projects need financing to become successful projects. Free capital should be used in an efficient way. We call it the decentralized credit pool. But why with a blockchain and how with a blockchain? Since 2005, about 150 members of a solidarity community have joined together to save money in a pool. The money raised was used to finance numerous projects. The rules for processing business transactions were time-consuming, but they worked quite well.
So how did we implement this process? So first, people who care about the community and who want to make a difference with their savings can deposit those. Then the community, then every member of the community can put their project to a proposal. The community votes, and the best projects are selected and get realized, and afterwards they pay the money back. Why did we choose a credit pool over a peer-to-peer approach? Well, obviously the big advantage is the risk, the pooling of risks. But usually those pool structures come with the biggest disadvantage, especially on blockchain, and those are privacy issues. It's problematic both from a legal and from a community point of view. No member should be able to see how much the others spend. The balance should be kept private. We tackled this problem using the Quorum blockchain. This is a fork of the Ethereum blockchain that lets you encrypt transactions and smart contracts. So in our case, only the committee is allowed to see everything. The normal members cannot see the balance of other members. So Stefan has gained over 10 years of experience in this project that show that people also want to participate in the process of voting and selecting the projects. And this is a good thing. They want to know that their money has a positive impact. And at the same time, their engagement in the selection secures that only the most promising projects are selected. And this is why we implemented a smart contract-based voting mechanism.
Yeah, so how is it actually implemented? We use the Node.js in the backend, interfacing via Web3 with our set of contracts. As you can see, they are deployed on the Ethereum blockchain. We're using those two contracts to basically support our voting component of our overall solution. On those contracts, especially that one is implemented as an ERC20 token, so it's tradable. As Alex mentioned, we also experimented with the Quorum blockchain to get more experience with these private transactions, and that solution looks quite promising. On the front-end side, we implemented a web app, and we used MetaMask for key management. So now we're going to show you the demo.
So we just assume that Matthias is one of those guys who wants to propose a project to the community. He maybe has a small cafeteria and he wants to have a new coffee machine. So he just fills out some basic information, like for how long should it be up to voting. And when he saves the campaign, then the small window of MetaMask pops up. So there he needs to sign the transaction in order that the transaction goes to the blockchain. And now we see it from the role of somebody who can vote for those projects. We can see that he can upvote, he can downvote. We see that there is a threshold, a minimum number of votes needed in order that the project can be realized. And also here again, I think he just voted, and yeah, we will see. So here's the voting thing. He votes for 10 votes, and we should see the transaction pretty soon incorporated by the blockchain. Well, so what did we achieve during this this hackathon? Of course, there are some problematic aspects. Obviously, so I think the most important point is that we solved the privacy and we actually created a governance which worked in that case that Stefan had a problem with.
So the time is up. Thank you. And we are about to open our rounds of questions. And can I ask the next group, please, to stay ready, which is Truck to Trust. Questions, please. Yes.
So basically there are two things linked to your business model. One is a fundraising aspect, I guess, and the guys who are voting for the approval or to whom the money will be allocated. And the second one is how this will be rewarded. So how does it work in terms of, well, determining the right level of margin and all that stuff? How do you deal with that?
So first of all, for the voting mechanisms, there are several options. So first of all, you can it can be based on every member of the community has one vote, but it could be also it could be proportional to the stake they have, or it could be based on the track record they have for voting for the right project. So there is quite a variety of solutions. I think Stefan can answer the question for the payback mechanism better.
Okay, the payback is so that
you pay in rates, and you have a tolerance rate to act okay. And if you hit the tolerance, you get a pop-up to the board of management or to the community, and they will interfere if there is a problem with a project, and if you cannot realize the cashback, the mechanism says to solidarize the cashback to the loaners and not to the givers. This, I hope I understood your questions the right way. Next.
Any more questions? Mr. Treiber?
So maybe a little bit about the implementation. What about the ERC20 token? What would implement directly in that?
Yeah, we actually implemented it in that, so it would be possible, to trade these tokens. We actually didn't use that exchange. It's not really a primary part of our solution, but it could be a feature in the future.
What parts are in there?
It's actually the complete ERC20 token. So all the transfer methods, if you're referring to that, the transfer from and transfer method and the balance method. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Last one, very short.
Short one. How will the platform be rewarded? I mean, the guys who are running the platform as such.
Okay, it's a social community, and all members of this social communities carry a part of the load, and with 150 people in this concrete example,
Thank you very
it
much.
was about 20 euros.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
So I have to be, I know, but the time is unfortunately up. That's my only chance to prove to you that I can be strict. So I'm trying my very best. Yeah, you know, I was putting so much effort at the beginning of the event to impress you, and I know that I've failed big time, but you know, now I'm paying you back without blockchain. So, you guys are ready?
Yeah, next team.
Okay, perfect. So Truck to Trust is now on stage, 5 minutes, and also for you, good luck.
Okay, hello, we are Truck to Trust. We focus now on future technologies, especially on autonomous driving. And we were asking ourselves, what are the major problems with autonomous driving? And we came up with one problem that bugged us a lot. And it is, what happens if we have accidents? And what happens if we have accidents with autonomous trucks where absolutely no humans are involved and absolutely nobody can act as a witness? So we created a solution for that. And it's Car to Trust. So we use the vehicles, in this case the trucks, as witnesses. So the sensor data of the trucks gets pushed to a blockchain and then will be evaluated by an insurance worker or by a legal worker, or will be taken to court to act as real evidence. So how should this evidence look like? This evidence should be trustable, immutable, and ideally should be provided by many different individuals. So for our use case, we have one little truck which does, of course, act unlawfully and will cause an accident. We have our little Daimler truck on the ground, which is also equipped with a Raspberry Pi. Like all Raspberry Pis will act as trucks or as other cars and will provide sensor data. And here's like our little witness guy who is not really involved in the incident, but will provide data nevertheless because it will be connected via a little connected drive system we built. So actually on the next slide, you can see the connected drive system we built using Corda. So data will be transmitted live in between those cars. And if an incident happens or an accident happens, data will be pushed to a trusted blockchain to be like evaluated by legal authorities or by an insurance worker. And this is then pushed to our insurance blockchain. So we have actually two ledgers which will act a little different. one for the persistent data, which is the evidence of an accident, and one for the real-life data, which of course is valuable at the time of driving, but afterwards, in normal reason, it's not really valuable because only incident data matter, because only this needs to be evaluated. So we put a little live crash test together for you to explain what actually happens. And as you can see, bam, truck crashes into the second car. In the front of the truck, okay, in the back you can't see it, but there's a little sensor detecting the collision and triggering an event which causes the connected drive data to be pushed to our insurance ledger. This insurance ledger will then be evaluated by an insurance worker, 1 second, which will have a look at the screen. At the top you can see like select incidents. If you have like some incident happened during the day and now, yeah, okay, you had lunchtime, now you want to like work through them and decide who gets paid. You just click the button, select which one you want to choose. And at the bottom, you will have the different time stamps from the connected drive data provided. And there is like lots of sensor data, like facts from the cars. Did it brake? Did it turn? Why did they do it? And with this data, the insurance worker then makes a decision. And on call, with this decision, the other guys will get paid or not. In an idea, or in this scenario, we only have like one insurance for all the cars involved. In the reality, there will be probably multiple insurances with access to this ledger to evaluate a crash. Yeah. Stakeholders, we could work. We have multiple stakeholders in this scenario. We once have the truck owners, of course. The truck owners, they want to provide proof that the systems in the cars work correctly. Then we have the truck manufacturers, which want to make proof that their chips are reliable and they did not tamper in any case with those chips to like get an advantage over the other cars, like we have seen with like Dieselgate or something like that. Then we have the governments. They can easily like put in regulations for the road. Like we have road regulations for every participant on the street, and we want our cars to act the same way. And if they don't act the same way, we want them to get punished and we want them to pay if they cause an accident. And of course we have the insurances, which we explained, and we have payload owners.
Thank you very much. So can I ask the group VLM platooning to get ready, and we're about to start our round of questions. Yes, any questions, please?
No questions.
Yep.
So why did you use 2 blockchains? I didn't get that quite well.
Okay, you do it.
We didn't use 2 blockchains. We used Corda blockchain. In Corda, it's need-to-know basis blockchain. So cars communicate with each other, with their find them in the road nearby cars. So their driving data, when an accident happens, cars sends this driving data and the data provided by the other cars that helps it to use an algorithm for autonomous driving and send this data to his insurance company. So insurance company can evaluate the data and prove that this manufacturer of this car can prove their autonomous driving algorithm works fine and there is nothing to avoid the collision.
Okay. Also, the front end you built, it's connected to the blockchain, or is it?
Yeah,
just
we don't have any backend.
Okay.
We are connecting to the peers and getting data, transaction data from the peers.
Mm-hmm.
Any more questions? That doesn't seem to be the case. Well, thank you very much for your presentation. Thank you. So we're having some sort of technical issues, so please stay with us. Is it working? So let's have a look. We're gonna get there. What's happening? Ah, something is that's the trick. They're using more time on stage so that you get familiar with their faces, you know, so you remind yourself that you saw these guys. You were saying, there's two guys, you know, those with the short hair. They did a good presentation at the end. Don't get stressed, guys. We still have time. So cool down. Don't get worked up. That's how it works sometimes. Are we ready to go? Yeah, good. So you no need to be pale. 5 minutes. Good luck, guys.
Okay, thank you. Our core question is, why are there no trucks platooning on the roads today? And what can blockchain do to solve this issue? So today there's trucks, cars, everything's on the road. But how do trucks know that other people are other trucks or other cars? In future, every vehicle will have a key pair built in, so others can know this is a truck, this is a car. Then another issue is hackers can get access from externally and pose as being a truck or something, and send messages like emergency brake now. Okay, technical issues again? Okay, let's hope it will work. I guess there's now we're back again. So the blockchain can say, okay, only trusted participants in the platoon can send messages that are like of high importance, like an emergency brake. Other issue is we have multiple trucks, how to share the value. Like, people cannot just jump out and share a dollar bill. You have to use an electronic form like Ethereum right there. Other issue is how can you trust that you get paid once you start joining a platoon? The solution is you put a deposit in the smart contract at the beginning with joining the platoon, and thereby guarantee that there will be a payment. So that's our truck platoon of the future. There's different trucks. They join together in a platoon. They're connected by the smart contract in which they entered while entering the platoon. So, but they're now sharing the benefit from air resistance, but they could share other things. They're driving like as one platoon. So there might be added modules that add more functionality to the platoon. Like stuff like those nose cones that reduce air resistance, or a snacks bar for passengers, or a sorter that sorts different freight from different trucks. We call this the platooning ecosystem. And it's an open platform. Other people can innovate on this platform and add new value-adding services to platoons.
So, we tried to implement a little of the smart contract. Make it big. So we have up top here a platoon of 3 trucks that are already running. We record their public address. We record their current balance, so they need to pay a deposit to join the platoon. And we also note down the time when they joined the platoon, because that's how we calculate how much they have to pay the front guy. Now we implemented that this guy, he wants to join, and if his reputation is okay, we didn't implement that part, but we just say it's okay for now. He joins. He needs to accept the conditions. And now we have our mat truck here at the 4th place. Now, if we say Daniel wants to leave, he can leave. He spent 40 minutes in this platoon. And if he leaves, we will see 40 platoon coins, that's what we call them, detracted from Daniel and paid to Felix's truck. So Felix now has 540 platoon coins. So that's what we did as an implementation.
Yeah, so we also thought about what's the financial situation behind the platoons, because it has to be always valuable for members. All members have to benefit from joining the platoon, or someone adding services to the platoon has also have to benefit from it. So we thought about who are the stakeholders. The markets are like a really big stakeholder and participants. There's markets to the marketplace where modules are traded. Modules post a price, and there might be an agreement, or prices are changed by modules automatically until there's an agreement. And government is also a big stakeholder, because they can influence the direction in which technology will go by yes.
Thank you very much. Your time is up. So we're starting with our round of questions. Any questions by the jury? Yes.
So what kind of blockchain did you use, and how did you implement that?
We used the Ethereum blockchain because we as a team did not have much experience with blockchain programming, and we knew Ethereum as the biggest blockchain, so we expected the most support from forums and stuff.
You did your implementation on a private blockchain then?
We did it on the Rinkeby test network.
Okay.
Did you also implement the things with an ERT20 token for payment?
Yes, we created the token, but we didn't connect it to the to our other smart contract yet. We didn't figure it all out.
Any more questions? Yeah.
Do you have any idea about cost savings by platooning or something like that?
Yes, I'll give.
Yeah, we did a calculation on that based on figures from the year 2014. So we selected some platoon relevant costs. So that are the costs that are listed below the graph. And so you can see that based on the starting costs, which would be 22,600 millions, we can reduce around 10% of the costs. So platooning is very efficient. The main drivers are like fuel savings, and I think this is very well known, but we also plan that you could increase capacity usage, because by now like 20% of the trucks drive without any carriage, because there's just no freight to transport. And so by implementing this, we could also reduce more costs. And so we have also on the graph shows from the left-hand side, we have costs that directly affect the truck operator. They can benefit from it. And on the right-hand side, we also have benefits for or external benefits for the community. If you are using a platoon, you are using up less road space. And further on you reduce emissions. And so, for example, the government could pay to you a tax refund because you are helping the environment.
Okay. Any very last short one? No? We have 18 seconds left. So, well, guys, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Please stay with us.